Hi guys and welcome to my video. Today I'm actually going to do my March TBR, so the books that I'm going to read in March. Now last year I was not a fan of the TBR. Like, I love watching other people's, but I hated making them myself. I hated that pressure of selecting like a certain amount of books and I've got to read those books. But I've kind of changed at the moment and I kind of like that theory. But I'm also open to the fact that I'm probably going to read other books in between. So in January and in February, like, I totally plan to read the Lunar Chronicles and I flew through them and I really love that feeling of like finishing a series from start to finish. So part of me is going along with that. There's a few books in here that I have not chose, but I'm going to explain that in a minute, and then some that I'm really wanting to get through. We'll start with the book that I'm already reading. I've been reading this book for far too long actually. The book that I'm talking about is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. I've been reading this for about 3 years. That's ridiculous. My husband has no idea how I can do this, like read a book over the space of 3 years. Pretty good memory. So, alright. I started reading this when my little boy, my youngest, was a baby. I remember reading this when he was tiny, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I've never continued with it, because it's really difficult to read for me personally when I've got such a huge distraction and baby brain. So really difficult, so I never kind of continued with it. I also obviously found out I'm dyslexic, so I had quite a few troubles when it came to reading anyway. So this one I've picked up again. Now last year what I did is I started listening to the audiobooks again so I could kind of like catch up, but I did only listen to Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. I didn't end up reading Air of Fire, but I did read the Assassin's Blade, which is the collection of novellas, because I knew I needed to read that before I read this. I think that is what kind of stumbled me, because I read Air of Fire and flew through it. I absolutely loved it, but then realised that you had to read those novellas before you could read this one or you'd lose something, and I think that's what threw me. So anyway, I've been reading this. I've been reading it with a combination of listening to the audiobook and reading it physically. That is my go-to. I need to do something like that every month. I love it. I love listening to audiobooks, and I love being able to keep up with something while I'm doing something like cleaning, like, you know, the boring things that we have to do as an adult, like walking back from the school run. It takes me like 5 minutes, if that, to do that, but still I like to listen to my audiobook. This is one of the ones that I do want to, if I can, binge read the series, which might mean that everything else in this video gets put on the back burner. We've still got, they're up there by the way, I've still got Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash to read in this series, and then that series will be complete, and then I will have read, it is the 2nd of March while I'm filming this. I totally understand that another book is coming out tomorrow, which I have actually ordered, but if I read that I will have read everything that Sarah J Maas has written in her own world. Like, I know she's wrote Wonder Woman and things like that. Not interested. The other book, I'm not sure when I'm going to read the next book, her new release, Sarah J Maas's new release. I have pre-ordered it, but me and my mum have gone halves because, like, we're like the same person. We've gone halves on it, so I'm going to let her read it first, because if she's not currently reading anything, she can read it first, then I'll read it second. So really excited about that. That is huge. Yeah, and I've already said that I've got a lot of things to do this month. The next book that I'm wanting to read, me and my husband have decided that we're doing like a book box each to each other. I've seen book boxes around, I can't afford them. So, well, I could afford them, but I can't justify the cost because they're a lot of money to not know what I'm getting, if you know what I mean. So I came up with a cheaper idea where me and my husband buy each other a book every single month from our chosen wish list. So I have an Amazon wish list which is full of all the books that I really desperately want to read, and my husband has been adding to his. Now my husband doesn't read. I have a non-reader husband, which is awful. But what he has started reading is manga. So I'm all for that. That's still reading. I'm like, yes, Michael, maybe if we can get you to manga and then get you to read the Illuminae series, you might become an actual reader. This is my long-term goal. So far, we've been together nearly 15 years and I've not managed it yet, but progress happened this year and he has started reading manga. So he has a basket full of that, and if I can find something random that I think he's going to really enjoy, I'm allowed to buy that too. So we have a budget of £15, which we've never gone anywhere near so far, but we have a £15, and if you want to get some other little things related to it, you can, but so far we've not done that. We just bought each other a book. So the first book that I'm going to read is February's Choice, which he picked The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know much about this. All I know that it is fantasy and that people love it. So I put it on my wish list. It's been on there years and I'm going to finally get around to reading it. I am very, very intimidated by this book. It is quite a chunky book, but the writing is also extremely tiny. But I'll be honest, my husband's choice for this is one that did sound really good to him, but also it was thicker, so I got more book for my money. Like, that's not the way it goes with books, Michael. Anyway, so I'm going to read this one at some point this month. The next book is actually January's pick. So I haven't been very good at reading these books that he's been selecting for me, and I do feel kind of bad about that. But it is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. The other thing with these as well, if it's the first book in a series that I read and I really love it, I'm okay to buy the next 2 books, or however many. In this series particular, there's 2 books, to be able to binge read the series. So this might change as well. So The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't really know a lot about this either. I'm not going to read a lot about it, but it's a common one on BookTube, so if you do want to like pick it up, I know that it's to do with fairies, and I have a love-hate relationship with fairies, so I'm really curious to see how I find this one. I think it's a really dark twist on fairies, which I'm intrigued by, and I'm really curious to read this one. So that's the next read that I want to read in March. And then apparently it is middle grade March. I'm not going to do it for the whole month because I just want to read other things, but I do want to pick up one middle grade book because I haven't read any, and it's Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. So this is The Trials of Morrigan Crow. This is about a girl who's supposed to die on her 11th birthday, and instead she is whisked away by a remarkable man called Jupiter North and taken to the secret city of Nevermore. So then she learns about magic, I believe. So I thought that sounded really interesting, really fun, just a really nice read, and I've heard really good things about it as well, so that's handy. Oh, the back cover's quite creepy. I do like the American book cover to this a bit more than the English version, but I don't know why there's a leprechaun on the front as well. I don't think he's supposed to be a leprechaun, but it looks like a leprechaun. Yeah. So that's the next book I'm going to read. And the final one that I've chosen to read is would you just call it a modern classic? Anyway, it's The Lord of the Flies by William Golden. These 2 books were a kind of a pick-me-up purchase. I'm not buying many books. I've got lots of books that I want to read and I'm not super interested, but I did an exam in February and I don't think it went very well, and I came out feeling absolutely gutted. So my husband gave me a book allowance. So we went round Waterstones and we went round like W.H. Smith's and everything, and I could pick some books, except that I'm really tight. So I then bought those books on Amazon because they were a lot cheaper and I got more for my money. Yeah, this was one of them. I've never read it before and I really want to. I've heard it's pretty brutal. It's about these group of boys that get stranded on a deserted island and chaos ensues. I do think it has a lot of death in it as well. I'm thinking there's a lot of cannibalism, but we will see, won't we? Yeah, I'm really interested to read it. So that's the last book that I'm planning on reading. I don't think I'm going to get through, I think I'm going to get through all of those books, but I don't think I'm going to get through anything else. I might not be able to binge read series, or if I do, these will get knocked off, unfortunately. I also have to be kind of careful with what I take to university. I don't like reading on my iPad in university because I have to travel on the train and I get a little bit paranoid because it's an expensive device and I need it for university because I write on the screen to be able to take notes. So I need to be able to take something light, and 2 of those books are pretty chunky. So actually this might be my university read, so that I can take something really light on the train and be able to read it. But some days I can't read on the train. I've overused my brain and I need different stimulation to be able to get me home. Like I said though, it's going to be a busy month. I've got 2 assignments. The great thing about my assignments though, oh, and if you could help me with this would be absolutely amazing. One of the assignments that I've got, one of the modules I've chosen is Introduction to Cinema. So I can do that, that's fine. We're watching like a range of movies and I have to write certain choices that the director has made for these. So I can do that, that's absolutely fine. The other one is for a module called Practical Stylistics. So this is the combination of language and literature. So why the author chose to use specific language within their literature and to analyse them against each other. Really love this module. The only problem is the first assignment is choosing a piece of poetry, and I'm not very good at poems. Like they are not my forte. I don't enjoy them, which means that I don't really know many poems. So I also say poems as well. I know this isn't apparently the right way to say it, but it's accent. Poem is, I believe, the correct term to say it. Yes, anyway, if anyone's got any recommendations of poems that I could use, the only other thing that I'm going to think of is that I'm going to have to choose Shakespeare because it's the only thing that I know, but is that poetry? It sounds pretty poetic, but is it deemed as poetry? I'm not sure. So yeah, if anybody could help, send along some poetry. I can choose anything, and that's where I've stumped. I can choose anything. I don't know anything. So yeah, if you could help me, that'd be great. In the comments below, if you could just like send me recommendations, I would greatly appreciate it, because I know there'll be a lot of you out there that love poetry, whereas I'm sat here thinking I know nothing. Next assignment is going to be way more fun though, because I get to pick any piece of prose, and she even said I could choose YA, so I'm going to enjoy that module, that assignment a lot more, because I get to choose anything. But I've got a feeling I'm going to choose Road by Matthew McCarthy. I think I'm going to choose that one because that's like really poetically written, but it's not actually poetry. It's beautiful and it's tragic and it's brilliant. So yeah, that's one of the books that I've read since I've been gone. Oh, I've read half of it. That is another thing that I have a habit of doing. I have got so many books that over the past 4 years I have picked up and just not finished. So I have just books all around my house with bookmarks in them halfway through, a third of the way through. It's really, really irritating. I think 1 month this year I'm going to make it a conscious effort to finish all of my half-finished books. I think that would be a really good challenge. If anyone's up for doing that with me, then let me know. I'm going to try and do some like weekly vlogs, if that would be interesting, because my life's a bit different now and I kind of want to record the differences, because I'm a mature student and my day-to-day life is different, and when I was trying to find videos on mature students with a similar lifestyle to me, it was very, very challenging. Most of the people that make videos on YouTube university related are a lot younger than me, so I think I'm going to do that, but like / reading vlog type thing. But that's all for this video, and I will see you very soon for another video. But for now, bye bye.